Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again, and this time we got a pile for you. Inzektors. Is this deck broken, or is it just gimmicky and not very good? Well, let me just tell you right here. If you guys are wondering what this Inzektor package is going to be doing, it's pretty much going to be spam summoning with dragonflies once per turn, not once, soft once per turn effect. I won't even say it's not even a once per turn effect. It's like once per turn you get equipped, but the secondary effect is not once per turn, where every time something's de-equipped from it, you get to keep special summoning cards. Same thing with Centipede. This card allows you to just keep adding cards to your hand. Pretty crazy. We're running the Cash Punk package, and before you guys jump on me for saying, this is just Cash Punk, guys, it's not. I'm running a lot of Inzektor cards. Like, there's a good amount, like at least 1/3 of the deck's Inzektors. And on top of that, I tried making a 40 card deck, I tried playing a 40 card deck, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, the deck felt way brickier than it does now. So this is why we're playing 60 cards, so we can actually play the game. Because you're gonna see in the videos what happens when I play this game. So you guys can experience it, firsthand yourself. So let's get into some games. It's pretty fun, and then we'll talk about in the recap what I think about the deck and possible futures for the deck and stuff like that. Hello, we're here with game number 1, and our opening hand is actually insane. So our end board's most likely going to end very crazily. Pretty much if you see E-Telly in your hand, your opening hand, you're gonna just pop off, I wouldn't gonna say. So this is the reason why we run Diablantis in the deck, because this deck dumps this card dumps the Ladybug into the graveyard, and Ladybug is like the key card to combo with this deck. You need either Dragonfly or Centipede and Ladybug. Alright, and this is the reason why. You're gonna see us combo right here. Boom, special summon Centipede. None of these cards are once per turn. See, we add Dragonfly. We go into Circle of Fairies. So this card we ended up taking out of the deck. I still wanted to show this replay just because I thought it was still cool. But if we didn't go Circle of Fairies there, completely fine. We would have just saved that, and we would have used Diablantis and the Insect to go into Inzektor P.U.N.K and use that to attach an extra card to Dragonfly. So it really didn't change too much about what we would do anyway. But our hand's pretty cracked, so we're going to end on a cracked board regardless. Here's Baron de Fleur. Remember the edits that we made to the deck. The deck is actually more consistent now than it is in this current game that you're watching. But this definitely shows how the deck is played regardless. There's P.U.N.K, we discard, attach. We're going to shuffle, boom, draw. Boom. Special summon. The nice thing about Baron de Fleur is Gigamantis. So now we have this. Technically, again, we didn't have to do this exact play because we have Baron here. But this is fine either way. I mean, it does the same thing regardless. See, we got 2 triggers, so 2 special summons. So this is very important. If you guys are thinking about, oh, you can use Magician Souls or something to get rid of both of them, this counts for each card at the same time. So like if Magician Souls gets rid of both of these equipped spells, it only gets 1 special summon off this effect. So the only way you're gonna get the double summon like that is if you use like Hornet or something like that to pop the card at the same time. So the Hornet leaves on its own, and then the Hornet pops that card, which makes it leave again. So that's 2 summons. Okay, so we're going to draw. Here we go. Beta King. We actually ended up taking out Deus Machina in the deck, too, because like in the future deck that we have, we're not playing this either. So you might be saying, why do you show this? This is just to show what the end board looks like. The only difference with the end board that we have now in the actual thing is sometimes you end on Boreal Savage Dragon 2, or you can end on the Cash Terror card because we play more into the cash cards. like we end on Shangri Era too, which would instead of this, which gets Fenrir. Which is arguably like it's a little different, but I'm saying this version was just very inconsistent. But I still wanted to show you what the best end board this version could do. Our opponent still almost plays through it, which is a little scary. It just shows you the power of Pearly. He's playing Victoria Pearly, and he just has a lot of gas. It's kind of spooky. We just let him do his Pearly things, because then we suck it up with Zeus Machina. Here comes Mole Cricket. We're gonna have to negate Mole Cricket with Baron. And they just skips it up. So, GG. Alrighty, we were here with game number 2 against Fairy, and our hand, I'm gonna be honest, our hand's kind of atrocious, but it's not bad for going second. So here we just drill our opponent. Our opponent is able to go into Heavenly Spheres, which is fine. We Foxy Tune, our opponent maxes, which is really annoying, so we have to imperm. I was saving Callby for the Heretical Seal, but obviously we don't have much of a choice. He ends up doing a really weird play. He doesn't tribute the Heretical Seal, he just tributes the Bestial to bounce, which is, I think personally, very strange to me. So this kind of does everything I want to do. And then I get ashed, so I guess I don't play the game, so now you see what I'm talking about when I say... yeah, this is still the 40 card variant. It's still very similar to the deck we're playing, but this is like, I just feel like it's really hard to play through a lot of stuff. I mean, we didn't even play against, like, he literally just had Heavenly Sphere with, like, I guess he had Ash and Maxi, never mind. That is kind of annoying. And here the opponent just loses because we're able to go into Zeoman. So bare minimum, we could like look to do some secret special play, but honestly our opponent's at 7400. He gave us a 2800 body, so at this point I'm just like, why don't we just bring back a level 8, and we have enough damage. We have 76 on board, so GG. Yeah, we get a lot of hand trap games where it's kind of stinky because you guys don't get to see combos for the deck, because it's like, but this is what the average games look like. Alrighty, we're here, and now we're playing the 60 card variant, so you guys get to see what I'm talking about. We get Gammaed, and then D-Shifted, then Maxied. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was talking about, in the sense of like, this is what was happening to me a lot of games where I was just getting absolutely bullied. I just strip his cash card from his hand, and I E-Telly. I know this is Super Poly, but we're playing around the Super Poly. We play around the Super Poly. We should get rid of it. Hit him for 51, only 3k left. And he's just scoop it up. He doesn't draw anything. Isn't this fun? Isn't this a fun game we play? Like, our opponent just blows their entire load and your turn's completely skipped. Honestly, you could have just D-shifted me and my turn would have been skipped. So I think he went kind of overboard with popping his... Already we're here with game number... I think this is either 4, I think? I don't even know at this point. It's probably 4. But yeah, we're just going to combo off and hope he has nothing. He doesn't have anything, so now we're just going to be comboing. And we're plussing. We're plussing. We're plussing. Hey, do you guys know what's something hilarious I tried doing with this deck too? I tried playing Aliburtion so I can go into 4 level 4s and then add emergency teleport so you can go into some syncers afterwards. It was not very good. Just don't have enough bodies sometimes to do that. But the idea is there. This game, we definitely could have done that. Alright, so we're still comboing. Proud of us. Alrighty. Look at this. Oh, this we actually miss out on the special summon here. But this is fine. We really don't have many plays to do here, so I think what we end up doing is we go into IP Masquerena, Shanghai Era, reset call by. So like this is what I'm talking about. This is like with no punk cards, it's still not a bad board. We have 3 monster negates. We're gonna get Fenrir, and we get IP, which goes into Nightmare. So it's actually not a terrible board. Plus, since we didn't use any punk cards, if we draw them, we have follow with punk too. We banish our Fenrir, we lock a zone, doesn't matter. We're under Lava Golem. It's not very fun. We're pretty spawned. He also had Birth in hand, which is like kind of rough. This is probably the dumbest thing that he did. So he used Ogre to banish Imperm, which gives me emergency teleport in my top draw. So he goes into Shanghai, and then my opponent throws horribly again because he uses Fenrir to banish, which in his defense is not horrible because I could have just E-Tellied and gone into one of like Pep or something. I mean, so it wasn't horrible of him to do. And then he has Breath. I E-Telly. I cannot use Madam's effect. If I use Madam's effect here, he uses this and he just gets rid of my Baron, which is my only rank 10. Which is like very obvious of what I'm doing. So here we go, Baron. Baron's just going to pop this card. I summon Dragonfly. It is already GG because I'm going to be able to Hornet and just spam Hornet on all his cards. And then we can just start dealing with the Shangri-Era. That's a great thing about Inzektors is Hornet popping with these cards is you just spam do it. It's really good. And we have Koyo too. Yeah, it's going to be GG. Boom. And here, this is actually another sick play. We're going to use Zektok to get rid of Gig Weevil, right? To give this guy another equipped, right? Because we want Gig Weevil to bring back Pika, so Pico can use its effect to shuffle our cards back in so it can re-spam the Dragonfly. I'm only telling you this because he scoops. So he ruins my play. That was going to be cool that I could show you guys. Alright, this is game number 5. We got one more after this. This game's really quick. I just wanted to show you that we can play through some hand traps. So here we get Unicorn. We activate Unicorn. So then we go into Zayamin. He goes into Ash Blossom, so he ashes my Zayamin. And the reason why I am saying that this was like GG is I go into Baron, and then so my opponent doesn't know this. So my opponent doesn't know, but I can Small World get rid of Unicorn, right? And since it's what do you call it? I can get rid because that's 2,500 attack. I can target the other punk card, the Dark Punk, and then use that as a bridge to get my level 2, the Ladybug. And then I could use this to discard Ladybug to special summon Dragonfly, and I had full combo board. Like, he was gonna face down bare minimum like 3 negates plus probably Shangri-Era, which would get a Fenrir. So yeah, it was gonna be a pretty gross game, especially off the 2 hand traps. But again, my opponent ruins everything for me. Thank you. Alrighty, this is the 6th and final game. As you can see, my hand's pretty broken. I'm gonna start using these Small Worlds very diligently. So here comes Rising Carp. Rising Carp is gonna go here. We get the field spell. Field spell's activated. We're gonna go into Dragon Drive. We go into Dragon Drive to get draws to see if we can start hitting things. We still have a normal summon left. We also want to add some stuff, maybe use Small World's effect. So we end up drawing into the Dragonfly. So all we have to do here is hit Ladybug, and we hit 2 Ladybugs. So it's already GG. It's already GG. Zayamin, add Ogre Dance, and we draw an E-Teleport. Our board's going to be crazy. So here we go into Baron. Early Baron. And then we get Zentrek Kotu. There's another Dragonfly. Dragonfly is going to let me get another Centipede out. I know this looks obnoxious. I speed this up because these triggers do take a while. So you kind of, it does help if you learn the combos ahead of time. Because, yeah, you're going to suck up your time doing these. So there's Pico. Pico's going to attack Sheer. We attack Hornet. Again, you do not technically have to add Hornet. Because the reason why you don't technically have to, you'll see why. So we're going to start shuffling some of back our insects. We're going to pop this. Because we only have 2 spaces, we don't waste any special summons. Here we go. And now we can free up some space with Appaloosa. Pop, pop goes the Weasel. Boom. There we go. Is Bloodlord Savage. 2 negates. And we have to pop that because that's what we had left over. I'm gonna say this ahead of time. I misplay this, and you have to forgive me though. I misplay this because I misclicked it. I didn't do this on purpose. You're gonna see what I'm talking about immediately. I activate IP, and I meant to use Unicorn's effect to send this back into the deck, but instead, I clicked no on this for some reason, like by accident. I just right-clicked on my mouse, and it did no, which was really annoying. So now I have to negate kill Ogre, because if I don't kill Ogre, he just runs over Appaloosa. My opponent plays like a complete idiot, so the only reason why I win this game is because my opponent plays like a monkey. He gets White Dragon. All he had to do, I'm telling you this right now, all he had to do was summon White Dragon and then attack. He goes into Striker. Tell me why you would ever go to Striker here. Now you just negate your white. He finally kills my card. And then he has E-Telly, but he's not running Shirakusa, so he just tributes his own card and then he does nothing. But that one nightmare misclick by me pressing on my right mouse almost made me lose the game, which was tilting. So it was still a good board though to end on, to show you guys the double negate with everything else. Welcome to the recap. If you guys enjoy this type of video, please subscribe. It helps out the channel greatly. And also join our Discord. We hosting tournaments on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. If you're watching the video as it get posted today, then we're hosting it today. So we have a ban list that's in addition to the Master Duel ban list. But it's very I'm gonna say casual. Well, people do play like top tier decks, but I consider it a very casual tournament. There's no money on the line, so if there's no money, it's pretty casual. It's pretty fun. It's more like bragging rights. And guess what? Your boy's a 2-week in a row winner. Even though I try not to play my own tournaments, but people want me to. So let's talk about the deck though. So, the 40 card version of this deck that you guys are not going to see was just not very good. And the reason it wasn't very good is it just like, I just felt like, it's weird, but like the 60 card version feels more consistent than the 40 card version. And like I played a good amount of both. It's just the 60 card version, I think it's just because we have that full like cash punk package, where the 40 card version really leans heavy on the dragon, on the Inzektors, and the Inzektor cards are good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the effects are broken. Like the fact that you just do this over and over and over, but the fact that this card's a dark monster, which means like all the Inzektors are darks. So like if they have bestials, you're gonna get absolutely cream pied. If they have like multiple bestials. The other thing too is the fact that these cards are not like one card combos. You need this plus a very specific card. Typically Ladybug. If you're going second, Hornet is better. I do want to put Hornet to 3. I just don't know what I would cut. Maybe there's a cut somewhere. But we definitely don't want to cut any of the other good cards. Like, can't cut any of these. Can't cut these. Maybe there's a cut somewhere. You don't want to cut these. You want these at least at 1. I think there's a lot of potential here. So I'm going to eventually, if this video does well, if you guys are interested in Inzektors, we're going to be exploring some more Inzektor decks. Because I like insect decks to begin with. I think that's a cool little archetype. I do want to try and see if we can make this deck better, or like go into something else. Like maybe instead of Punk, we do something else with it. But I do think this version wasn't that bad. As much as I was shitting on it on stream and getting raging about it. Once I added and changed up the deck and made it 60 cards and made it more of like a Cash Punk package with it. So like if you draw the Cash Punk cards, you just do full Cash Punk package, and then you could kind of almost, if you get lucky, you could go in the the Inzektor package too, which is like super broken, putting both of them on top of each other, because then you just end on like Shangaira with like multiple Negate Apollousa, Baron de Fleur, Borlode Sat. It gets kind of crazy. So a lot of cool stuff. The biggest weakness about the decks like these though right now, I feel like this current meta is like really rough for it, because people are playing a lot of kaijus, and I feel like it's just going to get even rougher, especially when Cash gets like full power. Because when Cash gets full power, that's another big monster you have to deal with. And they're going to be running D-Shifter 100%. And D-Shifter bodies this deck horribly. But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say this deck, at its current moment, it's like a 6.5. As much as I want it to be higher, it's like a 6.5. Does it have potential to get better? Maybe if like certain things, there could be a format where this deck gets a lot better. But right now, people are running like way more hand traps. I've been playing this game since pretty much the release of it, right? People are playing more hand traps in this meta than I've seen in any other meta. Like, it's crazy how many hand traps people are playing. And you might be saying, Fatso, you're playing a lot of hand traps. I'm also playing a 60-card deck, so it does get diluted a bit. And like cards like this, like the One of Ghost Ogre and stuff, they get kind of foreshadowed, because that's a card I can search off of. It's literally there just so I can search off Dragon Drive if I need to, like if I want to. But yeah, I think this deck's still like pretty good though. It's like, even though I gave it a 6.5, it's something to be explored. If you have a brand new account, do I recommend you building this? No. First of all, it's like way too expensive to build. And second of all, it's just like the power level is not worth building on a brand new account. If you have a very I guess mature account like mine, where I have a lot of these cards, the only cards I had to craft 4 URs, which sucked. Like I had to craft the Dragonflies and the Diablantis, but everything else I had. So that's that. I actually pulled 40 packs of the Inzektor pack, and I did not pull a single Dragonfly. I pulled their XZ monster like 3 times. I wouldn't have had to craft anything if I just pulled off those 40 packs. It was actually tilting. But yeah, I hope you guys, on a tier scale, this is definitely like rogue to, I'm not going to say meme tier, I'm going to say rogue tier. It's like a lower end than the rogue tier though. But yeah, it's a decent deck. It's a decent deck. Not much me to say, but we might explore it more. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want me to continue trying to make this deck work, or trying to make Inzektors work in general. And goodbye!